everyone, and welcome back to Totally Broken Opinions. This is a podcast. New intro, Dan. What do you think?
I'm not gonna lie, right? It gets shitter every time I hear it.
How dare you? I thought this one was pretty good.
This is a podcast. Absolutely brilliant.
It describes what it is. It's a podcast. It's great. It's precise, clean.
I'll give it to you. You're not lying.
Yeah, I think it describes this podcast perfectly. It is a podcast. What is it about? Who fucking knows at this point?
It's whatever we can be bothered to do on the day.
Yeah. So, today, we're going to be discussing the death of the DCEU. 10 years, Dan. It died last year. It is now 2024. We went from 2013 to 2023. You've not watched 4 of these movies. I've not watched 1.
Which one you've not watched?
I haven't watched Blue Beetle.
Well, fair enough. Was that the best one last year?
Apparently.
I heard all the
I was going to watch it at the tail end of the year, but I just didn't have time. I didn't go and see it because that was around the time that my cinema shut down, and I'd already watched The Flash, and I was just like, I can't be asked to go watch this.
Yeah, I said last year, I'm not going to watch a film unless it's good, and I heard they were all crap, and I was like, I'm not watching any of them then.
Oh, yeah, but they'll come out on streaming at some point, and you'll force yourself to watch them.
I probably will watch them, but just going out to cinema, right? It's a lot of effort.
Yeah.
But hey,
I've been a couple times this year already.
Have you? What have you seen so far?
I went and saw Ferrari, which is a film that came out last year, but, well, yeah. But yeah, that was all right.
At the moment, I'm just watching streaming services. I'm watching Saltburn.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that's good.
Yeah, I'm started watching. It's really weird. Like, it came out in 2023, but it looks like it came out in 2006.
Yeah. I don't know anything about it. I think my hairdresser told me about it, and I was just like, oh, yeah, okay, no, that's weird. That's appealing. But I'll get around to it eventually.
I'll get around to finishing it eventually, because I started watching it, but then I realised how late it was, so I stopped watching it. And then I haven't got back to it again.
See, I can't do that. I can't start, watch movies. It annoys me so much.
Well,
I have to sit.
Unfortunately, Spider-Man has now taken over my life.
Fair. I have seen the Netflix on the UK one has the extended edition of Far From Home.
Yeah, I've started watching. I'll start watching that.
Dan has frozen. Dan froze. He's back.
Danny also froze on my screen. Okay, just say it.
Well, Dan's internet's just shit. Apparently,
I don't know what's happened. It's been fine recently. It's just gone. I might just reset it.
It hates our podcast.
It does. That's what it does. Definitely.
But you were saying about Spider-Man's.
Oh yeah, I started watching the extended version, and to be fair, there is some like cool cameos and like cool bits.
I don't actually know what happens in it. I didn't pay any attention to when they were
more little bits, like just bits and pieces. It's not really anything massive.
No, I don't think it was.
Tom Holland released a interview. Well, he did an interview at some point saying how his friend did a scene where he was kind of swinging upside down, burglary, and they cut it from the main film. But that's in the extended version.
Oh yeah, because isn't there like a whole montage of like action stuff at the beginning where he's doing like crime stopping?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, that's 4 minutes into the podcast, and
we've not even talked.
We haven't talked about TCE once.
Well,
goes to show you,
that kind of sums up the whole thing, right?
It gets overshadowed by Marvel.
Yeah, pretty much the entire 10 year of it, and then the 1 year, or the couple years, Marvel's been kind of shit, and DC really had a chance to grab it by the balls and go for it, and they started to with the Batman, but then it got really shit last year.
They went back.
I was talking through all of that.
Good. Okay. Wonderful. Apologies for this weird podcast. Yeah, you were saying about grabbing them by the balls.
Just grab them by the balls and just do good. I just do better than Marvel.
And it was the last gasp of their year.
It was, and it was really shit. Probably maybe even the 4 of the shittest films that they've made.
Well, okay. We'll start with the beginning, shall we?
Okay, let's start from the beginning.
All the way back to 2013, Man of Steel.
To be fair, that wasn't actually that bad. At the time, I think everyone complained about it. But looking back on it now, it really wasn't that bad a film.
It is probably one of the highlights of their thing. I think the end falls apart.
Yeah,
as everyone continues to say.
But
I don't remember it. I didn't watch it in cinemas. I watched it on Sky TV, I think, or Sky Movies when I was at my dad's once, and I was just like, I'll watch this eventually. And then I watched it in like maybe 2015, maybe the year before Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice came out. And I was just like, I enjoyed the beginning. I thought it was like, okay, cool. His dad dying to a tornado is still weird. It still makes no sense. The characterization of Superman. I like Henry Cavill. Like, don't get me wrong. Henry Cavill, for that 10 years he's been in them, or 9. No, 10. No, yeah, 9. Because he's at the end of Shazam. Black Adam. Yeah, he's decent, but he just has nothing to do in those movies.
Yeah, it seems like they focused more on Clark Kent to an extent, or just more on the actual emotions.
They just wanted him to be moody and sad, but that's not what Superman's meant to be.
And I feel like most people watch Superman just because of Superman, you know? Be cool and shit.
Yeah, it's just meant to be a really strong guy who is happy and cool all the time.
And I think you can summarize the whole of Zack Snyder for that. For just doing things that nobody actually asked for.
Yep, his new movie, Rebel Moon, isn't doing very well because it's just basically looks kind of pretty, but everything else is garbage. I've watched it.
I mean, I've heard it's bad, so I'm not even going to try watching that.
Hey, look, we got a part 2 coming out this year, so...
Who funded that?
Netflix. But it's also funny because he's also come out and said that there's 2 R-rated cuts and they're longer. So these like 2.5-hour movies that aren't doing well, one's not done well, and I'm assuming the other one's not going to do very well.
No.
Are they going to get even longer versions? So I think he's just appealing to his fan base now. He's just going, what are my fan base like? Really shit movies that then get extended longer cuts that don't make them better.
Nah, to be fair, I think...
I do not think...
Justice League is better than the Snyder Cut.
I don't think it is.
It definitely is.
It's not. I think just Justice League, or whatever it is okay. And I don't think Zack Snyder's one brings it above okay. I think they're on par.
I don't.
One gave me a headache.
To be fair, I think I had a headache watching Snyder Cut as well. But Snyder Cut wasn't that bad. It was better than the original.
I think it was a bit more coherent. But, I don't know. We'll get to it. We'll get to the Snyder Cut. Because we'll get to Justice League.
Okay,
but Batman v Superman.
God, that was a shit film.
I remember going to watch that in cinemas after watching like Deadpool and just before Civil War. And just absolutely just being hand on my head in my chair, sinking lower and lower into what the fuck is happening.
Yeah, that is a questionable film. I think it's on the premise, once again, could be so good. But what the fuck was it?
They did too much. They did what every studio fails to do with like what Marvel did. They jumped into, we got to introduce everyone. Like, we got to bring in Wonder Woman. We got to bring in Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor. We got to bring in Aquaman. We got to bring in The Flash. We got to bring in all of these characters. And hey, maybe if they'd held off on casting for a bit, they wouldn't have needed to bring in those characters. Then we could have avoided something that happens later down the line.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. So, I don't know. I was like, it's just so bad. It's awful.
DC seems to be very obsessed with piss as well, because this movie has the infamous true toilet humor. Hey, they have the jar of famous piss, Granny's peach tea.
What
Do you
the
remember
fuck?
that? Do you not remember that?
No.
Basically, Lex Luthor gives a little speech about Granny's peach tea and something about piss.
I don't remember that.
And then when Superman gets, like, the Senate hearing gets blown up, the Congresswoman looks over to a jar that's labeled Granny's peach tea and it's got piss in it.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you not remember that, Dan?
I don't know. Maybe because my mind bleached it from being so weird.
Yeah, and then we'll jump to the very last movie of the DCEU, Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom. They do a lot of piss jokes in that movie.
Okay, to be fair, I can just imagine that because Aquaman, the first one. I don't know how the first one made $1 billion.
Oh god, it's the most successful one of these.
And it makes no fucking Joker. Sense why.
Because it was coming off the tail end of Justice League, I guess.
Maybe.
And people were like, we like Jason Momoa. Also, we heard this one isn't terrible. Because Wonder Woman did all right.
Okay, so after Batman v Superman, we got
Suicide Squad.
Which, once again, could have been so much better.
We've done a review on that 5 years later.
We have. We did do that, yeah. I forgot about that. But...
Yeah. I still didn't like it. I'd softened on it, but I still didn't like it.
Yeah, I think I've softened it again a bit more still. And it's what it is, right? And there's good moments in it. I like the music, but...
I don't like the music.
I know you don't, but you're very fucking picky of your music.
The music is just a weird choice, and it's so just, like, connected. It doesn't make any sense in the movie.
I don't care about being in the movie, I just like the music.
Yeah, but that's the whole point of it. It's got to make the movie good. You can't just like the song.
I don't give a shit about that. I just listen to the music.
No. That's not how it works.
Oh, shit.
It's got to make...
If I'm there, right, for 2 hours, and at least give me some enjoyment.
I mean, if you want to do it that way. I'm more of it just has to make sense thematically in the movie. Like, oh, we have a bad guy entering the movie. We'll play the bad guy's song.
Oh, that's a plus. That's a plus. But long as it's good music.
It's not, though. Putting Eminem's fucking soundtrack over a getting changed montage, I'm pretty sure, makes no sense.
Yeah,
Harley Quinn smashing a glass going, we're the bad guys. I am so glad Billie Eilish's bad guy didn't come out at that time. Because could you imagine if they'd had that song?
It might have actually worked, to be honest.
Hang on.
Did it work better?
Probably, but it would have been annoying as fuck. Billie Elliot.
Billie Elliot? No, that's someone else.
No, I know. I'm just trying to find out when the song released.
When that came out, 2016, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the year I finished.
2019 Bad Guy came out. So, yeah, 3 years too early.
2016, that's the year I finished secondary school.
I'd finished 2 years prior.
You old fuck.
This was the year that I started going to the cinema a fuck ton more. 2017 was the year I started tracking it. So, but this was the year that I watched so many movies in the cinema. Right. And then I realized, oh, fuck, I gotta stop because I'm paying too much money, so I'll buy a Cineworld card.
We've said a lot already about Suicide Squad, so let's go on to Justice League, which we've also said a lot about.
No, you're missing Wonder Woman.
For fuck's sake, I forgot. Did
Wonder Woman came out before Justice League.
Oh, I thought it came out after.
No,
Wonder Woman is probably one of the highlights. One of the few highlights in the DCEU saga.
And it's not the first female-led superhero movie, but it was the first one between Marvel and DC that got released in terms of like their cinematic universes, because Marvel waited until 2019 to do it.
Yeah, Wonder Woman was really good, to be fair. Yeah. Had actually good emotion to it, good grit, you know.
I think the ending again. Yeah, I think the No Man's Land thing is good, where she goes out the hill, or the trench, the hill, and fights, stands there with a shield, basically. And then all of the other guys run out and help. I mean, that was good. I like Steve Trevor. Chris Pine's character is good. I think the other guys are kind of wasted, kind of like a Captain America, but it is just Captain America, kind of.
Yeah, I guess so. It is very.
It's similar. Captain America, but in World War One, not World War Two.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, you know.
She even has the shield.
But to be fair, I think this is probably better than Captain America, the film.
I think the first Captain America is pretty decent.
I don't think it is.
You haven't watched it in a while, though.
I've watched it enough.
I think out of the early Marvel movies, it's probably like third.
I'll say it's the second week.
Before like Avengers, because like if you're doing it like before their big team up one, it's like Iron Man for me, probably 4, then Captain America, then Iron Man 2, then Hulk.
For me, it's probably Iron Man. To be fair, I think most of them are quite shit apart from Iron Man and Avengers.
Yeah,
in my opinion, I think
that's what I'm saying. Just if you're basing it comparing DC to their first section before their big team up movie, and then Marvel before their big team up movie, like Marvel, yes, is still higher, but like Wonder Woman, I'd say is probably way below Iron Man, but like above like a lot of them.
Yeah, the quality is similar to Marvel. Let's just say that.
Yeah, it's like Marvel-esque.
Yeah, Marvel-esque.
So it's like all the other ones are like dog shit. And then Marvel-esque, we got something comparable to Marvel in the early days.
Talk about dog shit, Justice League.
Whew. Oh boy, what a movie. It happened, I guess.
It was like it was trying to be Avengers, but just way more shit.
Well, they brought in the directors, the Avengers director, because Zack Snyder had to leave a go because of his daughter committed the suicide, and that was
really sad.
Yeah, that sucked. I mean, generally, that's a horrible reason to have to leave a project that he was, I guess, passionate about. And I don't hold it against him for leaving. Like, fair play. I'm sad the audience dragged him back.
I think he wanted to finish it anyway.
I don't think he did. I think he saw the opportunity of like, oh, people really want this. Because he's now basically done it and he doesn't want to be a part of DC anymore. Probably because they treated him like shit.
Yeah, I was
but
say
also
DC.
Because like he has this ravenous fan base now that is loyal to him no matter what. So
Yeah, I've heard Warner Brothers like just really shit to all their directors and stuff. Like Christopher Nolan said he would never go back to Warner Brothers.
Yeah. That's why Oppenheimer was released by Universal, I think, or Paramount, whichever one it was. But hey, look, one of them's going to maybe get bought by, like, David Zaslav's looking to buy one of them, so we'll see. But yeah, this was just a mess. It was two different directors with very different styles clashing. Characters were just rushed to get introduced because we didn't really know any of them.
A lot of very shit jokes.
Yep. Which then get taken out of the Zack Snyder version.
And they removed all the blood and put with green goo.
Yeah, I don't remember that, to be honest, but
I remember how shit. The first Justice League is so shit.
Again, I had fun with it, to be honest, when I watched it. I won't lie, my initial reaction was just like, it's better. It's not terrible, but I might have just been rose-tinted glasses. But I don't know. It's much nicer paced than fucking Zack Snyder's long fucking 4-hour cut.
Oh, I'm not saying the 4-hour cut's a good idea. I'm just saying there are a lot better moments in that than there are in this one.
I don't know, to be honest. I think all of the stuff that, like, Zack Snyder's good bits are in Justice League 2017, and all the new bits that he adds on, I'm like, I don't care.
The whole tone is very different in the first Justice League. It's so much.
Oh yeah, no, I don't disagree. I think you're 100% right. The tone is much different, and it hinders it greatly.
Yeah,
because it's meant to be like serious, but this was in the panic stages where they were like, "Oh, people hate the dark tone. We need to make it lighter." Wonder Woman did really well, and that wasn't super dark, even though it had serious moments.
I've always said this. I think I said it in another review. I would have much preferred them to keep it a bit lighter and then keep doing this and then go to like the dark Injustice sort of storyline. I think that'd been really cool.
I think if they just kept the I think it could work, but they need to change some of the elements of it. They just needed to have Batman be dark and brutal, but not kill people.
Yeah.
They needed Superman to be like a beacon of hope in that world. Like, you can have the world be dark and bleak, but you got to have Superman be the beacon of light. And you can have Wonder Woman be bitter and broken. Like, that's fine, because she is a killer. She's killed multiple, like, in the comics, and she's murderous. Like, you can have Aquaman be brutal and stuff like that, but then they have to come together, and then they start to learn from Superman about being a beacon of hope. Batman sort of becomes lighter and doesn't beat the shit out of people to a near inches of their life. Like, there's ways of making it work, but, like, they got the guy who did Rise of Skywalker to do those scripts.
Well, fucking hell.
So, well, at least for Batman v Superman and Justice League, I think.
All right, what came out of the Justice League?
Aquaman.
Yeah, that was the
highest grossing one of the movies.
The thing is, Aquaman wasn't a bad film.
I hated it. I really fucking hated Aquaman. I think it was like
I've only seen it once. I've not seen it twice.
I don't think I saw it twice. Hang on, I'll check. I'll see how many times I saw it in cinemas. 2018. I think I only saw it once, and I don't think I've seen it since.
So between 2013 and 2018, really, there's only been one decent film, which was Wonder Woman.
Yes, that's 5 years.
That is 5 years, yeah.
And that's how many movies did they release? 1, 2, 3,
Marvel's
4,
recent track record.
5, 6, 7. No, 6. They released 6 movies in 5 years. How the fuck could I not count? So then we hit 2019 with Shazam. I had fun with this movie. Mainly because
Shazam was cool.
Yeah, it was a fun tone. It feels completely separate to everything else.
Especially with the wizard trying to get the boy to touch his stick.
Yep, that is the best moment of that entire movie, is just an old wizardy man shouting at a small boy to touch his stick.
It is funny. It is funny. And yeah,
I'm just like...
that humour in that was done so much better than like any other DC project.
Yeah, I generally enjoyed that movie.
I'm not too sure how I felt about the end of it, or all the kids get powers. I'm just like, that's a bit mad.
Yeah, and then the next one, you haven't watched it, but it feels really tacked on with all the kids having their powers.
Yeah, it's almost like that was a mistake. That shouldn't have happened.
No, I'll tell you what the mistake of in that film is when we get to it.
Oh, okay.
Then
Birds of Prey.
And the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn. Or what they ended up changing it to is Harley Quinn's Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey or whatever.
Oh, just Harley Quinn : Birds of Prey.
Yeah, because they realized that they made a really long fucking title when no one was going to see this movie. They also made it R-rated, so...
It's also because it's not really a Birds of Prey film.
No, it's a Harley Quinn movie that has the Birds of Prey in it.
Yeah.
For a bit.
Yeah.
It is more of a Harley Quinn movie.
Because the Birds of Prey gets up at the end, so it would have been better just to call it Harley Quinn.
Yeah, which they eventually did.
Which they eventually did, but I think the damage was already done at that point.
Oh yeah, I watched this in like London, like a week after it came out, because I was just like, I have not got the time to watch this regularly, and I was going to see the cinema every time I was there, and it was just like, oh. But yeah, it was just like, this was doing really badly at the time. I think this is, well, at the time I think it was one of the lowest grossing movies, because they made it R.
Also came out during COVID.
Yeah. I think it came out just before. I think it came out just before COVID.
Oh no, yeah, you're right, because February.
It came out like early February, like just before COVID or something like that. Because COVID was like March.
Yeah.
So I think it came out just before then and then tanked because of that and stuff like that. I enjoyed this movie. Like, I didn't love Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad. I think her character was really annoying. I think in this it's a lot better.
I think it's fine. Like I said, it's all right, but I don't have too many fond memories of this film.
I do struggle to remember what was in it, but I think, like, there's one scene where there's a prison break and she's using a shotgun full of, like, paint pellets and whatnot, and it's just, like, explosions of that. She breaks a guy's leg. She throws cocaine in people's faces. It's great. I like that fight.
Yeah, it's definitely good at action sequences, and I think a lot of the jokes are probably quite well done. But what I don't like about it, one thing I distinctly remember, is the fact Black Canary uses her powers once.
Yes. I like Ewan McGregor as Black Mask as well.
Yeah.
And his like homoerotic relationship with the calendar guy who has all the scars on him.
Yeah.
Because everyone was just like, oh, what the... Oh, that's the thing. That moment where he peels a guy's face off and then hands it to a kid, that's great. I love that moment. Yeah. Well, I think he hands it to a kid. I can't remember.
So, yeah, that film was all right. But then Wonder Woman 1984, fucking hell.
A movie you did not watch when it came out, and I pirated.
And that was a fucking shit film, I can't lie.
Yeah, such a downgrade from the first one.
I don't understand. It's like the same fucking director.
Yeah, but then we had Thor Ragnarok versus Thor.
That's true. There's no...
And we had...
Understand.
I think they just get complacent and they start throwing out whatever the fuck they want without any restraints. And you're like, oh, okay. Maybe you should have had some restraints.
Yeah. Instead of turning someone into a cat lady.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd watched Cats prior to that. So I was like, oh, not more Cats.
That's quite funny.
Yeah. It was mainly just because it was like weird, rapey Chris Pine takes over another dude's body because of a wish, and Wonder Woman doesn't seem to give a shit that she just got her old boyfriend.
Another guy.
Yeah, just fucks another guy, but he has no control, and he's just basically been taken over by Chris Pine, metaphysically, I guess. And she has no problem with it, and then she's just like, well, I wish that my wish was undone. And then I gotta tell a lovely impassioned speech about how you gotta unwish for everything because I'm selfish. Like, you wish for your dad to be back alive? Nope, that's selfish of you. Because some guy in Ireland shot another guy in Ireland.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that film was so fucking shit.
I think this was also the thing where Pedro Pascal kind of got annoying to me.
Yeah. He's kind of had a bit of a downhill recently, hasn't he?
Yeah, because he's... Well, no, I think he's gotten higher and higher in everyone else's opinion. But I just find him... He's in too much.
He isn't too much. Even
I think
Mandalorian's got a bit of shit recently, though.
I don't know. I
didn't even finish Mandalorian season 3.
I did. It's not worth it.
I know, exactly.
They've announced a movie, though.
What, Mandalorian movie?
Yeah, because it's tying in all the TV shows into one thing. So they're basically... All those branching plot lines that they were throwing out, like Boba Fett and Ahsoka and all of that, are meant to tie into this movie.
Right, okay.
So that's going to be a fucking mess of a movie, if anything.
Well, yeah, imagine so.
Okay, next. We have a redemption arc. We got James Gunn coming in to save DC early with The Suicide Squad.
Hang on. Before that was Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Fine, yeah, we'll talk. Well, we talked about it.
We have, and it was better. I ignore what Danny said.
I don't think it's better. I think it's too fucking long. No
I'm
movie
not
should be
disagreeing with you.
4
I
hours.
am not disagreeing with you. It's too long.
Ugh. I don't think it's the plot makes more sense because they cut less out. But I think if Zack Snyder's version was like 2.5 hours, I would have been fine with it. 4 hours is too long.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I am not disagreeing with you.
I also don't remember what happens in it.
There's like a cool.
I watched it and I was just like, it gave me a headache, and I was just like, ugh. And then Green Lantern Martian Manhunter, who didn't do anything in the entire movie, turns up in the end and goes, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna help you now." And it's like, where the fuck were you, cunt? You didn't do anything. You spoke to Martha Wayne. Amy Adams' fucking character, and tell her that as Martha Wayne, and go, "Oh, I'm so sorry about Superman being dead."
But that was the last film that Zack Snyder was involved with.
Yes. And then when did Joker come out? Joker came out in 2019, didn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Joker came out in 2019. We can talk about Joker. I don't like it.
I think Joker's fine, and
I think it's fine. I don't love it. I think everyone praises it way too much. It's not
Are
like
you looking
this.
forward to the sequel this year?
To be honest, yes. I think
it might be quite good.
I think it could be really funny because it's going to be a musical, supposedly, and I think everyone who likes the first one is going to absolutely despise it if it's a musical.
Thing is, what's the rumor came from be musical? Is it just that it's got Lady Gaga in it, and everyone just assumed she's going to sing?
I think it's going to be like hyper trippy sort of thing, and I'm guessing that's just like fun to do a musical, maybe. I don't know.
It could work.
I want to just hear Joaquin Phoenix try to sing. That would be funny.
But
yes. Joker 1, the best moment in that film is when he gets in a fridge. I maintain that is the best movie moment, and I'm just like, yep. It's dumb. I don't know why he does it. I think he's just trying to cool down, I guess. Or he's trying to panic attack himself. I don't know. But I like that moment. It's just weird.
And then, going on to The Suicide Squad. Is the last good film of the DCEU.
Yes. And the catalyst as to why James Gunn is now spearlining the DCEU, I think it's called. I don't know.
Yeah,
the next
DCEU now,
the next generation of movies.
Is The Suicide Squad your favorite DCEU film?
If we're not counting the Batman, then
it's not
yes.
a DCEU film. Yeah,
I know, but we're talking about it anyway later.
We are. We're going to talk about it, but yeah, I would agree. I think The Suicide Squad. I think at the time, got overhyped a bit too much.
I maintain it's a good movie. I don't love it like I love a lot of other movies.
I would have enjoyed it a lot more at the time if it wasn't so overhyped. And there's been a few points where I've now learned to not let hype get the better of me.
I think I would like it more if Peacemaker didn't come out.
Yeah, I can see
because
that.
I don't love Peacemaker.
But
I know it's blasphemous.
Honest,
and I'm annoyed that they're going to continue Peacemaker. I didn't hate Peacemaker, but I think it really ruins that movie that I know that Peacemaker lives at the end of it. Because I think
it ruins the movie, but I did enjoy the Peacemaker TV show.
I didn't dislike the Peacemaker TV show. I just think that, again, was way too overhyped for me.
Yeah, it's one of those
because
things.
It took me so long to watch it because I don't have HBO Max or whatever the fuck. And I don't have Sky in the UK.
Because hype does just ruin things. And if you just don't let hype get to you, you can easily just enjoy something.
Oh, I don't tend to let hype because I either watch stuff before it gets the hype, or I go into a movie as soon as it comes out and I don't have any hype to it, even if there's been hype building up to it, because I'm very good at just switching my brain off to go focus on what's happening in the movie, ignore everything else that happens. So my opinion of the movie when it comes out, and then when I, like, at the end, I'm like, yeah, that's my fully formed opinion. I'm like, yeah, I enjoyed this. And then occasionally on, like, rewatches and stuff like that, my opinion maybe lowers or heightens and stuff like that, because I find new things to appreciate or things I don't like.
Yeah.
But I always maintain a two separate system for my reviews, because I'm always like, this is what my initial reaction when I watched it was, and then this is my sliding scale opinion.
Yeah.
Because it's like, over time, yes. But I always maintain this is what I felt when I watched it. So, but yeah, I like Suicide Squad. I think having a big giant starfish, cool.
I'll also every time where Polka Dot sees everyone as his mum.
Yep. I think James Gunn does weird characters really well.
I'm concerned to see what he's going to do with more known characters, because I think where he really does shine in the films.
I think that's why the Superman movie's going to have like a whole bunch of other characters in it.
Well, that's what I'm kind of worried about, the first one being Superman, because I don't think it's going to do well. I don't think it's James Gunn's sort of thing.
I don't think it's James' fault. I think it will be all right. I think it will be decent. The problem with what DC's done is they've pinned all of their hopes on one movie, and it's a Superman movie, which is what they did at the beginning of this saga. Like, if they started it... Yeah. And the problem is they've now got a ravenous fan base that hates anything new because it killed a universe that they were enjoying. And then you've got general audiences on the tail end of basically not really enjoying superhero movies. So I think Superman may have too much riding on its coattails. That it's either going to be okay and a decent start. It could be a Batman situation where it's like, ooh, okay, that's really fucking good. Or it could be a disaster, and then DC's going to go into panic mode and try and change everything again. Because this director... Because that's the thing. They pinned all of their original hopes on Zack Snyder's vision for Superman.
Yeah.
And then they're going to pin all of their hopes on James Gunn's version of the DC universe. So, unless James Gunn... unless Warner Brothers is prepared to let this movie not do great, but let the, hype... or the word of mouth, the good word of mouth, maintain the level of the thing, then it will be good. But it's just whether or not Warner Brothers steps in and fucks it up again.
And then, after Suicide Squad, it is Batman, if I'm correct.
Yes, The Batman.
The Batman, yeah. So, yeah, that was a fucking great film, I can't lie.
I love that film. Watched that 4 times in cinemas, back to back, even though it's 3 hours long. See, I can watch a long movie, but this did not feel long. I enjoyed that movie.
That was such a good back-to-back film from DC, though. The Suicide Squad and then the Batman.
I still find it funny, though, that I think in cinemas they released, at the end of the Batman, or one of them, I think it was the Batman, they released the teasers for their next slate of movies, and then it was just like, all of these movies are delayed.
Yeah. And they're all shit.
Yep. Because I think Black Adam and Shazam were meant to release in the same year. And then it was just like, nope, they're all being delayed by a few months. And these are now being pushed back. And then it was just like, oh, yeah. But yeah, no. We've done a review on Batman, the Batman.
Honestly, go check out our review. I mean, we've said so much on it already.
I think we praise it so much.
And let's just go on to Black Adam, which I know you love because you love The Rock.
I despise both of this. I think this movie was weird because it was just a vanity project for The Rock.
It was. To be honest, it wasn't that bad. Considering
I hated it. I think it's garbage. So much
worse. I enjoyed it for what it was.
I don't think it's the worst movie on this list, but my God, was it bad.
I don't think it was just bad. I enjoyed it.
I think it is only good because it is held up by Dr. Fate.
That is true.
In this movie.
Dr. Fate was very good.
I despise the kid on the skateboard with a passion. I think the mom character is bland and just doesn't add anything. I think The Rock is just not acting at all and is just doing a Terminator, but not good. The villain is piss weak.
Yeah.
The CGI is bad. The action's bad. Except for Dr. Fate stuff, but that's just Doctor Strange stuff. And I'm like, eh. They just do a lot of the Doctor Strange things, but with Dr. Fate. And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. We've also done a review on this. Check it out if you want more in-depth opinions on this movie. I think we do a break-by-break on what happens. But this was the movie that tried to bring Henry Cavill back and failed because they immediately rebooted. And then The Rock...
he quit Witcher because of this.
Yeah. And then he can't go back to The Witcher because... Well, I think he quit The Witcher also because he hated the direction it was going.
Yes, because he wants to do everything...
He's a big fan of the books.
Not the games.
He's a big fan of the books, you were saying.
Yeah, he wants to do everything like the books, not the games.
Yeah. And the TV show is trying to go more gamey.
I think so, yeah, because that's the more well-known stuff.
And then now he's doing Warhammer. So he's a happy boy because he loves Warhammer.
He's just a massive nerd, really, isn't he?
Yeah. I still need to watch that video where he builds a PC because I'm like, ooh, inspiration.
It's so funny. See his big muscular arms just holding the 3090 or something in lockdown. All right, so...
Here's the category of movies that you've not watched, and I've not watched one of them.
My thumbs.
Right, okay. Shazam! Fury of the Gods. did not hate this movie, but it is not good. I had fun with it. I can see why people hated this movie, but I, to be honest, had an okay time with it. I think the issue I have is the actors that they have playing the roles. So, like, there's Billy, and then there's Zachary Levi. Their personalities are the complete opposite. Right. And then his brother, the one in the crutches, him and the actor who plays his superheroed version are complete polar opposites. It feels like they should have had Zachary Levi playing the guy on the crutches character, like older version, and then the other guy playing Billy's older version, because their personalities seem to sync up more. Right. Like it just seems like that's an older version, because Zachary Levi is just playing like a kid who's like hyperactive and all of that, but the main dude is just like stoic and just kind of like serious, because he's like 18 and he's not really like a teenager anymore. And he's just kind of like, but then his younger brother is like really hyper and everything like that. So it feels like the characters just disconnect as soon as they're in their polar opposites. And I know that's kind of a thing, but like it makes no sense. One's playing a child and one is just an adult, but they're the wrong way around. And it's just like, okay. The villains are kind of piss weak. I liked Rachel Ziegler, but she does nothing in the movie. And yeah, it's just kind of like, oh, okay. Big Dragon. I like the Big Dragon fight. It's boring and generic, but I kind of enjoyed it because it was just like, oh, okay, cool. Dragon made of sticks? Cool. That's a cool, different take on a dragon. That's cool. About it.
I mean, I heard a lot of bad things about it. I just heard it was kind of just forgettable and just kind of meh.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's forgettable. There's not much. There's a big Skittles joke. They build up Skittles a lot. What is it, right, with DC and failing at sequels? Because they never set up the first ones to begin with very well.
Yeah, but like, all the first films are like kind of decent. But all the directors, to an extent, apart from maybe a couple. Even Zack Snyder's
Aquaman probably, like, I probably agree with you. Wonder Woman is better than Wonder Woman 2. Aquaman is probably better than Aquaman 2. Shazam 1 is better than Shazam 2.
Man of Steel is better than any of the Zack Snyder stuff.
There is an exception to that rule. Suicide Squad is worse than the Suicide Squad.
No, but it's different directors. So
I know. But I don't think the same director... Oh, no, the same director did do Shazam.
Yeah.
I think this is where DC stepped in a bit more to go even more than they were already doing, and we were just like, we need to... Because these were all reshots. This is also the first of the movies where Gal Gadot turns up for no reason and then saves the day, basically.
Really?
Yeah. Because at the end of this movie, Billy's dead. He dies,
really?
he dies in this movie.
I didn't know
it's
that.
like, and it's an actual, sorry, spoilers. For a movie that you didn't watch when it came out,
Yes,
and I don't think you care, because it wouldn't matter if he was, it was an actually good, impactful, like he has a sacrifice basically, so to save the day, he basically ends up dead.
Oh wow, that's actually mad.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, that's actually cool, because they're ending the universe, so this is a good send-off to this character.
Yeah.
And then, because it's all based on gods and, like, mythical things, at the end, they bury him in the mystical world thingy, or wherever it is, or whatever, where the wizard lives, as, like, his send-off. And then it's like, because the power of the staff is basically using the power of the gods, but they killed the last two gods, essentially.
Yeah.
And then it's like, without the power of the gods, we can't resurrect him because that's how he gets his powers and whatnot. And then it's like, but there is one more god, as in the background, as Wonder Woman goes, she's not a god, she's a demigod. So it doesn't make any sense. And then she just basically goes, Quapare! And then he's back alive. And he crawls out of grave. And then makes some jokes, and then tries to hit on Wonder Woman, because that's the whole point of that. Like, there's been jokes throughout the movie where it's like Wonder Woman's body, and then the wizard's head on top, and then it's like, ugh. And they've been trying to, like, Billy really wants to fucking date Wonder Woman, even though he's a child.
Weird. All right,
and
okay. Let's move on.
Well, that's first cameo, and then we go on to the Flash.
Which
Do you want the cameo for Wonder Woman?
I know a lot to say about the Flash, but keep it short.
Do you want the cameo of the Wonder Woman?
Give me the cameo.
She doesn't save... Well, she saves the day, but it's early on in the movie.
Summarize the Flash in like 4 sentences.
Absolute dog shit trash. Fuck.
Okay.
It's cameo upon cameo of just weird CGI nonsense. Bad CGI that they try and pass off by the director as like, we intentionally made it bad. No, you didn't. You just didn't have time. Disrespectful cameos as well, because they basically take actors who are dead and then CGI them. Also, they do the Superman cameos of like the old Supermans, both of who had like supposedly the Superman curse, because one died being typecast as Superman and never like really getting like a retirement, and the other one died like got crippled basically after being like Superman and stuff like that, and got typecast as Superman, Chris Reeves and whatnot. And then like other actors and stuff like died or had terrible roles and stuff. They tried to make Nick Cage's unfilmed Superman movie a thing. Like, it's a really deep cut, unless you know that Nick Cage was meant to be Superman. And there was meant to and then there was meant to be a giant spider fight in that movie. Like, they do a cameo for that.
Okay, yeah.
It's like really weird deep cuts that no general audience would care about. The storyline is garbage. You get 2 Ezra Millers, which is a nightmare. Michael Keaton is just phoning it in. The new Supergirl or Superwoman is good, but she has nothing to do. She's just there to die over and over again, because it's basically the ending is you're not ever going to be strong enough. It's just like in the end of Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse, the whole thing is like you're meant to be able to break destiny.
Yeah.
Like, you're meant to be able to break these repeated events that are meant to tie you to this universe, and no matter how strong you are not going to be able to do it. But the hero then breaks those expectations. The Flash is just like, yeah, no, you're not ever going to be strong enough to win this. You got to go back and reset it all, so it basically you don't have this timeline happen.
Oh, okay. And
that's the message of the movie. It's like, you got to kill your mum, basically. If you have your mum alive, you will never get a universe that's good. That's the message of the movie. It's such a shit movie. And it's just spaghetti. So much fucking spaghetti. Right, we'll skip Blue Beetle because I haven't watched it.
No, but I've heard it's shit, so.
I've heard it's alright, considering what it is, but like, it's nothing.
Yeah.
And then
everyone's
Aquaman.
so done with superhero films. And let's wrap it up with Aquaman the Lost Kingdom.
I fell asleep halfway through.
Fair enough. That boring.
It's fine. I don't hate it. Like, it's just such a whimper of a thing. Amber Heard has more lines in it than I was expecting her to have.
Is Amber Heard in it? I thought she wasn't in it.
No, she's in it a bit, because basically he has a kid now, and so they can't just immediately write her out. But there are so many scenes where I think, because he's basically doing the I'm a dad talk, and I struggle to be a dad whilst being superhero talk. But rather than having it with Amber Heard, his wife, and them having like decent moments together, it's just him and his dad hanging out. And you can clearly tell they've reshot it, because it's like, oh yeah, Dad, I'm a single father, but I'm not a single father, because it's that type of vibe. It's like he's struggling to be a dad, but it's just like, no, you've got your wife there. You're still basically a couple. But like she's barely in it. She gets injured like early on in the movie, and then at the end she kind of comes back. She has a few decent action bits. But yeah, she has like 4 lines in the entire movie. But she's still kind of pivotal to the end. But yeah, it's kind of bland. It's a brother story, and you're like, oh, Aquaman and his brother are getting along now. It's all right. It's fine. It's just a kind of whimper. And then the end cameo is his brother eating a bug.
Is that it?
Well, a burger and a bug. Because there's a joke in the film where Aquaman's like, you don't know anything about the humans. You haven't experienced their lives. And like, he goes and grabs a bug and he goes, look, they eat these. And then Orm goes, this tastes all right. And then at the end, he's like free from being imprisoned. And then he goes to a restaurant basically on a pier. And then he's eating a burger and he sees a bug crawling across the table and he puts the bug in the burger. Comedy gold.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. And that's how the movie ends.
It's pretty shit then.
Yeah, it's whatever.
So, DCEU is over. Are you going to miss it?
Yes, because it was a fun roller coaster of just shit after shit after good shit, maybe. It's doing something.
But are you looking forward to what James Gunn's bringing forward?
Yeah, I think James Gunn is a good director. I think he has, from what I can tell, a solid idea of what he wants to do. It's not just cobbled together. We'll have to see. It could be shit.
It could be. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But that's it. That sums up our end of DCEU discussion, right?
Yeah. We'll have to wait at least a year before Superman. I think there's the
Damn.
Creature Comforts, Creature Commandos or something like that. The animated thing that's what I'm curious about this one. Is supposedly this one is going to have animated stuff, the TV shows, live action, games, and everything is meant to tie in. I would be very surprised if they don't abandon that pretty early on.
It sounds a bit mad.
Yeah, because it's meant to be the characters from like the animated stuff are then meant to be able to cross over into the live action stuff. Kind of like what Star Wars has done. But again, a lot of people don't watch the animated stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to wait and see, I guess, on those things, isn't it?
But then they're meant to have games that come out that are also meant to tie in as backstory. So I think they're going to maybe try and maybe just get rid of the game aspect, I'd imagine. They might keep the animated, but I would not expect them to keep the game, like, tie-in stuff.
Most people don't play games.
No, people play games. I just don't think people want it tied into the fucking universe.
I feel like most general audience. Oh, we do, but...
I don't want it. I don't want Spider-Man the video game having to tie into Spider-Man the movie. I don't want to have to play. I don't want to have to play. I want a separate story that can be done in a video game.
That is true.
It's two different mediums. I don't need them to be connected. Like, tie-in video games are just the movie again, so it's boring. Like, I don't see the appeal of, like, tie-in video games. And then a video game that extends the story that you have to put, like, a lot of hours into. If it's good, yes, but a lot of them will be shit, because they'll be trying to get them out and they won't know the storylines and everything, because they'll be trying to keep it secret. It's why Marvel abandoned that approach quite early on, because there are a bunch of Marvel tie-in games in the early days. Like, there was a Captain America game that was meant to be set pre-World War, pre-Captain America.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, oh, yeah, okay, cool.
Anyway, that sums up our end of the day discussion. If you enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, share, do all those wonderful things on whatever platform you're watching this on. And we will be back next week for another episode of something.
Yes. Leave in the comments what your favorite DC movie was. Or previous DC movie. Or what is the one you're most excited for.
Or just any thoughts.
Yeah, why not? Just tell us
Feelings.
if you...
Or emotions.
No, that died down. We get rid of that. As much as I like that title, people, it was just, this doesn't apply to that.
Yeah. All right, we'll catch everyone next time, and see you later.
Bye.